Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about some things that you can do to allow yourself to buy more fishing tackle, because we can never have enough of that, without breaking the budget, without spending your own money in some cases. And we're going to go over some of these things. A number of the things that we talk about, in fact all of the things we talk about, I've done at some time or another. So I have direct experience in utilizing these ways to get some additional money freed up so that we can buy more tackle. So after we discuss several different ways to be able to purchase more fishing tackle without breaking the budget, we're going to do an unboxing. And this is a Bass Pro Shops Cabela box here that I was able to use one of the methods that I'll be describing to buy without spending any of my own money. And it really comes down to two things. You can either earn more money somehow, or you could save money somehow, right? You can go out of your way and earn some extra dollars somehow or another and use those dollars towards fishing tackle, or you can stop spending money in one area or other area and use that money that you've saved and put that towards your fishing tackle. But there's a few other things that you can do too that don't involve your personal saving or personal spending habits or even trying to earn more money. There's gifts, there's different things that you can set up so that you can get more money, attain more dollars so that you can buy more tackle. So we're going to go through all these. The first one, and one of the ones that's most important to me, is that I have a Capital One Bass Pro Shops, it's actually a Cabela's credit card. And with this Cabela's credit card, every time I use it and spend some money, some amount builds up in points that go towards Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's, things that I can buy. It's actually money. And so what I've done is I have two credit cards. One is a backup, and my primary credit card is this Cabela's card. And I put as much of my everyday expenditures and bills on that card that I can. So all the time that I get gas, I put it on that card. When I pay bills, all of the different house bills, I put it on that card. And so over time, I'm constantly building up rewards points. And you'd be amazed at how fast you can build up these reward points. I just earned $65 through just paying some bills in the last few days. And this was in 1 month's time. So that $65 is becoming the box opening that we talked about at the end of this discussion. So that's one of the biggest ways. Now, I don't like debt, so I don't use my credit card in any way where I incur debt. What I do is I pay my entire bill every month. So at the end of the month, whatever that bill is for the credit card, I pay it off. I don't like debt. I never did. The only two loans I ever had in my whole life were for a new car and for my house. And the new car's paid off, and so is the house. And since then, I've gotten used cars just so that I can save some money and just buy it in cash and be done with it. That's just my personal philosophy on spending and not wanting to get in debt. Doesn't mean that you have to do that too, but I make this suggestion because if you're going to be using this credit card to earn reward points, you don't want to set yourself up so that you're actually hurting yourself by spending money and getting in debt. Don't do that. Use the card for what you would normally use it for, pay it off at the end of the month, and you'll get the reward points, and then you're actually making it work for you. Because now you're not paying any interest on that card and you're getting something back for it. And it's a significant amount. I mean, over a year's time, it's hundreds of dollars. It's probably close to $1,000 a year for me. So that's a lot of money that I can put towards fishing tackle. Now, another way that I get money towards fishing stuff is my family and friends, they all know that I'm a fishing fanatic. So when it's a birthday time, my daughter, my son, oftentimes my wife, every time my brother, they're getting me gift cards to tackle shops. It's either Bass Pro, Cabela's, Tackle Warehouse, Susquehanna Fishing Tackle, Discount Tackle, all these different ones. It depends on what I want. Usually my brother asks, what do you want it for this time? And I just tell him, because you can't get everything at Bass Pro and Cabela's, at least not the specialized tackle that I want. Sometimes you have to go to Discount Tackle or Tackle Warehouse or many of the other warehouses and outlets out there that have fishing tackle. So you can get these gift cards just, if someone's wanting to know what to get as a gift, well, this is something that you can suggest to them and they know it makes you happy, so they're pretty likely to get it for you. And that's how it works for me. I get this, my birthday was just yesterday, the 17th, and I got a number of gift cards that I'll be using towards Tackle Warehouse and Cabela's. And again on Christmas, this will happen again on Christmas, where I'll get an additional set of gift cards, and I could use them any way I like to buy the tackle that I like to buy without spending any of my own or any of my money that's from our budget. Well, another thing that you can do is take a look around and see if you have anything that you want to sell. You know, it's a great way to unload what you might think is junk, or just maybe not junk, but just having stuff that you don't use or need anymore, and it just takes up space. So it does two things. It reduces the amount of space it takes up, which frees more space for, say, like fishing tackle, and you can sell that and get money for it and put that towards tackle as well. So for me, I have so much fishing tackle that usually once a year I'll go to tackle swaps. For $15 you can buy a table, rent a table for a day, and I'll sell a lot of tackle that I don't want or require anymore. And when I sell that money will go back into buying tackle that I do want. And sometimes, you know, in one day, depending on what you're selling, you can get it easily $400. A lot of times we got that amount, and sometimes $800 or $1,200, depending on what we're selling. So there's another way that you can quickly, you know, trade basically what you don't want by selling it, and then buying stuff that you do want. It doesn't stop there, though. I mean, you could sell other items too that you might have that have value. One thing that you can do is have a yard sale or a garage sale. If you have excess clothing and all this stuff, you can make quite a bit of money in a weekend if you have the right things for a yard sale or a garage sale, and you're freeing up space in the meantime. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. Back in 2017, I decided that I didn't really want to work for the boss that I had at the time then anymore, and I had an opportunity to take a layoff with the benefits, and that benefit would have been, because I was there for 32 years, I'd get about a year's worth of pay, and my health care would continue for a while. And it was either take a different job that I really didn't want, or take the layoff, and I decided to bet on me. It surprised the heck out of my boss, but I took the layoff. And when I did that, I started this YouTube channel that you're watching now, and that's another way that I get some income from, that allows me to buy more fishing stuff. It's not a lot, but it helps. You know, every month it's money coming in, and it's enough to really help me with my tackle habit without having to spend any additional or money that would be coming out of a budget or somewhere else. And then when this happened, because I was leaving the company, I had to decide what to do with a pension. So I took the pension. So I was getting a pension every month, and so some of that money, because it was just additional savings for me, ended up going into some fishing tackle now and then as well. And at that time, so I got another job in 2018, but I had about a year where I didn't work, and I was going around, I was starting the videos, learning how to do YouTube. I did something else. I put a fishing video course together about a simple way for catching trout on a teaching channel called Udemy, U-D-E-M-Y, Udemy. And when I put that course out there, that earns money for me too. So I have another stream of income. Even to this day, I'm still getting students that sign up for that course, and half of that money that is paid for that course comes to me in a PayPal account, which I then use for fishing tackle. The other thing that I did during that period of time was I started going to these home auctions. These are when they're selling all the contents of a house and the house itself. And they usually do this on weekdays, so I wasn't able to do it when I was working. But this was a great way to find a whole bunch of stuff cheap. I mean, I got all kinds of tools for $1, furniture for $1, $5, and I'd sell it for $30, $40, $50, or, you know, depending on what it was, $10. I'd sell it on something like Craigslist, or I forget all the other ones that are out there. There's dozens of them, these apps out there now that you can sell. You can meet up with the person, and they can take a look at it, and usually the exchange is in cash, and it's easy. And that was just another way that I was getting money to help finance my fishing tackle junkie habit. You know, if you're a younger person and you're looking to try and find a way to get money to buy some fishing stuff, maybe you want a new rod or a new reel, one of the best ways that I know for you to do this is to see if there's someone that needs their lawn mowed. A couple of lawn mows, if it's winter time, a couple of times where you're shoveling someone's walk and driveway. In just a few hours, you can earn a lot of money doing this. A lot of people are willing to pay quite a bit, and in just a few hours, you can have $100, $200 that you can put towards fishing tackle. So if you're a young guy and you have the time and the energy and the strength, that's another way that you can utilize some time and be able to buy some tackle that you couldn't afford otherwise. Well, I hope you got something out of that, and I hope that it was helpful for you. We're going to switch over now and do an unboxing for something that I use my credit card points for, so that you can see what we got in the unboxing. So let's go and take you to that right now. All right, it's time to open this box. We're going to change the camera angle so that you can get a close-up look at what we're looking at. We're going to do an over-the-shoulder camera angle so you can see all the different items. We'll describe what I have, why I bought it, and you'll get to see it right now. All right, let's open up our box here. So I have a little X-Acto blade here to get this thing started. Try not to cut any of my fingers off. That's kind of important. All right, so I'm just going to put this down, and then I'll bring things into view as we go through them. So, the first items that I've got here are a bunch of these. I ended up going down a rabbit hole with this bait. These are the Storm Wild Eye Swim Shads. And the reason why I bought these, like I said, it's a bit of a rabbit hole. Look at these little guys. They're only like 2 inches. I was fishing for stripers recently using a bait called a burrito. It was a 5-inch bait, and it's a large swim bait, the burrito. And it's kind of expensive, and I liked the bait. It worked well. I had a lot of fish following, but the eyes would come off, and it was, you know, like 40 bucks, unless you got it on sale, which would be maybe 35. So I thought, I wonder if this bait's worth the money. And, you know, it's a lot of people really like that bait, but I started doing some investigations on the computer to look at reviews of the bait, and you know, pros and cons, and some people experienced the same cons that I did, that the eyes would come off, and you know, I lost the bait in some cover that I ended up breaking it off. And then I thought, well, maybe there's another bait out there that is just as good or better. And so I came across this Wild Eye Swim Shad, which I'm familiar with. I've bought this bait in the past. I haven't thrown it much. And it comes in a bunch of different sizes, and this is where the rabbit hole comes in, because I wanted to get it in a 5 or 6 inch size, something large for stripers, and unfortunately they didn't have it at Bass Pro in that size. But then I saw these colors in the smaller sizes, and I'm like, boy, this looks a lot like the bait fish that I'm you know, where I fish, like the alewives and the shad. I really like this color, for example. This one's called Natural Shad. Really nice look to it. And this one here is called Olive Shad. So I got them up to, I think, 4 inches in length. This one here is 4 inches, and I've never have played with any of these. They're pre-rigged. They come with a good hook. I'm gonna have to try them out. They're different weights. The bigger the one, the bigger they are, the more they weigh. This is a 16th ounce bait, the 4-incher. The 3-incher is a 1/4 ounce, and this little 2-incher is an 1/8 of an ounce. But I want to try them out and see how they perform, and then I'll get the bigger ones from some other tackle distributor. It's just more of the same thing, different. Got the colors, basically 2 colors in all the sizes up to 4-inch, and that was the Natural Shad and the Olive Shad. Here's a smaller 2-inch size in Olive Shad. So I thought I'd pull this little guy out. This is the little 2-inch 1/8 ouncer. Look at this thing. It really looks like a shad. It's got, you know, that wider bottom and then a little bit of a narrower top. But I like the look of it, and I'm thinking this could really catch a lot of fish under the right, you know, under the circumstances when you have heavily pressured situations, cold fronts, that kind of thing. I can see me using this at places like Beltsville, Wallenpaupack, and doing quite well with it. The other thing that I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with is these Strike King Bitsy bug jigs. They're smaller finesse style jigs, and the reason why I got these is because I was fishing recently in pads, and I was throwing a frog and a toad, and I was doing well, I was catching fish. There was tons of bluegill in those pads, and I thought that they were eating the bluegill. Well, this was in a tournament, so I was putting some fish in the live well, and when I was done, I was amazed at the amount of crayfish parts I saw in the live well, little tiny crayfish parts. So I thought, oh, I gotta have something that imitates those little crayfish, and so that's why I bought these different baits here to imitate the crayfish. I'll put a little crayfish trailer on the back of these, maybe a little speed crawl or something like that, something that looks like a little crayfish on the back of these things, just for when they get a little tough to catch in the pads. This could be a good way of taking a rough day and getting it to be a much better day. Here's another jig that I got here, a good green pumpkin colored one, perfect for crayfish. I could put a brown craw trailer on there with a little orange on the claws, and I got a really good imitation of a crayfish there. And then we didn't buy a lot. The last thing here, we had like $65 worth of stuff to buy. The last thing I bought is the Stanley Ribbit Frog. It's really not a frog, it's a toad. Here's a good look at it. It's got these paddles for the tail, so it's going to make a good commotion. Pretty flat bait. And the reason why I got this is because I'm looking at doing another toad video. This time it would be one of the best series, where I would look at a bunch of different toads, show you footage of how they look on top of the water and from underneath, and then try and determine which ones are the best of the best. And please comment and let me know if you'd like to see that toad video in a future video coming up. Well, that's it. That's the unboxing and some ways that you can get some money, free up some money so that you can buy more tackle. I hope the video was helpful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And also, if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure that you still are, because this has happened to me. I don't know why it happens. Every now and then, somehow you get unsubscribed. I don't know what the deal is with that, but if you want to be subscribed and you're not sure, check, and then make sure that you are, and you can always resubscribe if for some reason it got unsubscribed somehow through YouTube. Not sure how it happens, but it does happen sometimes. Until next time, keep it tuned here. We got some more great video coming up. Be safe out there. Hope to see you on the water, and as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.